Good morning. I am very sorry I cannot be here with you today at your MEC Capital Day. I believe this is the first MEC Capital Day I may have missed since being governor or lieutenant governor, but I can tell you it's for a good cause. I'm heading out of state for an economic development trip. Now, I won't be gone long. I'll be back tomorrow, but this is a critical company here, an existing business that is headquartered out of state that we're hoping will expand and grow, and I'm sure all of you understand how important it is that I make these personal visits. We've seen this year that this personal involvement of economic development from the governor's level along with all of you. All right, all of you seen my scorecards. You know, I like to tote this around with me. I keep it in my pocket. It's get a little tattered and torn, but it is so important. We say on the front of this is made in the USA and perfected in Mississippi. That's why we've had so many manufacturing jobs in the state of Mississippi. That's why, as I said earlier, we've grown by over 6,000 jobs. A new company like Yokohama Tire Company, the expansion of the supplier park at Nissan, and Toyota's suppliers expanding in northeast Mississippi. On it goes, and that's why we're number 9 in the nation for economic development opportunities according to Area Development Magazine. That's why we're number 2 for competitive utility costs and permitting speed. Number 2 in America, not number 50, not number 49, number 2. Number 5, best states in America for entrepreneurial success. That means our small businessmen and women do a better job than 45 other states. That's why, to my great satisfaction, Mississippi's gross domestic product has exceeded $100 billion for the first time ever. All of the salaries, all of the manufacturing, everything that goes into that GDP, over $100 billion. Now, we should all be very proud of that. And I could not make that claim if MEC had not worked so hard to help us reach these goals, to make sure that we're the number 2 location in the world, not just in America, but the second best location for the world in investing in our oil and gas. Number 2. Our Tuscaloosa shale play is growing and will be one of the largest plays for oil and natural gas in America and employ thousands of Mississippians. Now, we've worked hard to make sure we got the workforce of the future, and I hope very soon we will be able to show you our new website, our Mississippi Works website that will be unlike anything in America to help identify the jobs that we have available out there just now in Mississippi, who's qualified for it, and how to match those up. It will be something no other state has. Now, I appreciate MEC. Each year we call on you to help support our legislative agenda. And again, this year we'll be talking about economic development. We'll hope to look towards the support for MDA. And that team, as the Mississippi legislature, has moved forward with us in creating the most job-friendly economy in America. We'll talk about the budget, the 98% rule, so that we don't spend all of the money. I know there are a lot of good causes that we need to spend that money on, but if you don't put some aside, and this economy would happen to slow down, then those demands continue in state government. I did that in 2008 when I was lieutenant governor, filling the rainy day fund, and I think it's time that we begin along a path of doing the same thing again. I think, as we know, looking at what Finch has told us in their ratings report, we've got to stop using one-time money for reoccurring expenses. Now, the legislature has worked hard over the past 2 years to try to get that under control. We're going to do a better job of it in 2014 to make sure that one-time revenue for reoccurring expenses is reduced. Finally, we're going to talk about public safety and corrections. All of you know the expense of housing a criminal, the incarceration costs, but it's worth it. If we're talking about violent offenders, if we're talking about career criminals, we must get them out of society. If we're going to have an economy that grows at the level that we demand, then you must control crime. People must feel safe in their property and in their person. So as you know, that we worked this year with the Mississippi legislature and the Pew Research Institute to make sure that we have best practices around the nation, to make sure that we can look at not only being tough on crime, but smart on crime, helping us fund, for example, those drug courts so that we can get people out of the correctional facilities and into a reentry program to help them begin their lives anew, get a good job, support their family without going back into prison. Now, as a former law enforcement officer and a member of a family that suffered through a violent crime, I can tell you this new plan will not be soft on crime. It will not allow that career criminal or that violent offender to go free, and just the opposite, it'll make sure that we keep them where they need to be. But that individual that is there caught in a society of the drug culture that is abusing a controlled substance might have an opportunity to regain their footing, to go away from that lifestyle and to be a creative, productive citizen. And this has been successful where it's been tried. I've said Mississippi ought to be the worst place to commit a violent act, but the best place to get a second chance. So we'll work hard on that. We're going to direct strike forces, if you will, to go into areas where there's high crime, high violence, high drug use, gang activity, and we're going to clean those areas up. You give law enforcement the tools necessary, and they will get the job done. We can see in our own capital city how drugs and crime has affected the economy. They don't deserve that. We need to work hard to give them the assistance they need in making sure that this city and this state prospers without the threat of violent crimes or career criminals. So again, thank you. I support your economic development opportunities through MEC each and every time we have the opportunity to do so. MEC has made all the difference, whether it's economic development, whether it's our health care incentives, whether it's education. It's been MEC time and time again and its leadership that has stepped forward to make sure that we get the job done and that Mississippi works. I'll let you know about our economic developments more in our State of the State address and how successful we've been. And even today as we're out making sure that Mississippi is on the move. Have a great day at the Capitol, and we'll see you soon.